If y'all thought that the beef going on with Drake and Kendrick Lamar is messy, well, Chris Brown would like you to take several seats because he just took his crazy beef with Quavo to a whole new level. Quavo and Chris have been beefing for a long time now, but it just got messy a couple of days ago when Chris Brown dropped his diss track, Weakest Link, against Quavo. Not only did Chris Brown body Quavo on the track, but he also hit below the belt by exposing his affair with Quavo's ex, Saweetie, while Saweetie was still dating Quavo. Girl, Chris came for blood because he completely humiliated Quavo in the worst way possible. Did Saweetie really admit to the affair? Let's break this crazy story down. Girl, ever since Cat Williams opened the year with his messy video on Club Shay Shay, we ain't ever had a moment of peace since then. It has been one messy drama to another, and this time Chris Brown has officially entered the group chat with his beef with Quavo, dropping one of the craziest diss tracks that we have seen in a long time. Girl, it just might be the craziest diss tracks that we have ever heard from an R&B singer. Okay, for some context, Chris Brown and Quavo have had beef going on for a long time now, and it all started when Quavo started dating Chris's ex-girlfriend, Karrueche Tran. For some reason, Chris didn't like this, and he started taking shots at Quavo. They had beef for a while, but it simmered down. Then in January this year, rumors started going around that they had settled their beef when they were spotted sitting side by side at a Fashion Week show, and people started talking about how they had let go of the drama. But the next thing we knew, Chris slammed the rumor saying, "Can't pick who you sit by, F all that grown-ish. I'm not finna fumble my bag for little ninjas." He also took shots at Quavo in his song Freak, saying, "Effing my old B ain't gonna make us equal. Sipping that 1942 cause I don't do no Quavo. Freak B, she like Casamigos, not the Migos." Quavo then clapped back by bringing up Chris's old DV cases and how Chris used to put his hands on Karrueche, saying, "You did the B wrong and now the B gone. She posted with a thug. Call the B phone. She won't come home. Don't beat her up. It must be the need to cross out your plug." Quavo also said, "Tell me, lil bro, what's your issue? It's over a thought. You said it's bigger than that, but no, it is not. It's cause I be digging in that. It got him hot. I'm giving respect, but I know you not. You'll be on my neck, you'll be at the spot." Now, if there's one thing that we know about Chris, it's that he hates it when people brings up his past with putting his hands on women, especially his partners. He claims to be a changed person and has previously blown up on social media whenever people bring up that part of his past. So when Quavo brought it up in the song, we all knew that Chris was going to blow up on him, but we didn't expect him to clap back as hard as he did. The craziest part about this is that Chris dropped a rap diss track against Quavo titled Weakest Link, and he isn't even a rapper. Baby, he came with all the smoke for Quavo and literally started the song with a voicemail of Quavo saying that he doesn't want smoke with Chris. This should have been the first sign that things were about to get very brutal, and boy did Chris drag Quavo for filth. He called Quavo a B with dreads and threatened to pull up on him. He then went on to confirm that the beef was over Karrueche, but then he dropped a crazy bomb about how he slept with Saweetie when she was still dating Quavo. Girl, the way I screamed after hearing that line, I'm not gonna lie, Chris knew just where to hit, cause he knew that Quavo is still low-key salty over his breakup with Saweetie. I mean, there are rumors that the reason Quavo fell out with his fellow Migos, Offset and Takeoff, rest his soul, because Offset had an affair with Saweetie. If Quavo was mad enough to break up the group after he and Saweetie broke up, can you even imagine how mad he would be if he found out that she cheated on him while she was dating him? Yeah, he would be furious, and Chris knew this, which is why he dropped the bomb in the song. But that wasn't all, because Chris also threw shots using the late Takeoff. If there is one thing that makes Quavo tick even more than the situation with Saweetie, it's Takeoff's passing. Back in November 2022, Takeoff and Quavo were at a game of dice when Quavo got into an argument that led to shots being fired. Unfortunately, Takeoff was hit by a stray and he passed away on the spot. Fans immediately started pointing fingers at Quavo, blaming him for Takeoff's death. Takeoff wasn't only Quavo's fellow Migos, but he was also his nephew, because Quavo's sister was Takeoff's mom. So they were family, and as far as we know, Quavo loved Takeoff very much. So having his nephew and friend pass away in his hands was very traumatic for Quavo, which is exactly why Chris brought it up. And not only did he bring it up, but he said that everyone wished that Quavo should have been the one to pass away instead of Takeoff. Girl, this was a lot. That was as messy as you can imagine, and Chris did not hold back. I'm not gonna lie, as a rapper, getting bodied and whooped by an R&B singer has to be the most embarrassing thing ever, especially when the singer in question comes hard like Chris did. And like that's not embarrassing enough, Chris also dropped some merch on the diss track and wrote, "Have you ever been considered the weakest link in your crew? Ever been bodied by an R&B singer? Ever wonder what it feels like to actually be fly AF? Girl, Chris was disrespectful. Saweetie responded to this by saying, "Woo chow, let me go rewrite these nanny verses." So it looks like we're going to be hearing from her pretty soon on her upcoming song. Quavo, on the other hand, has been silent on that, but that's not surprising because what on earth do you even say to come back from that? But fans have a lot to say about this, and everyone seems to admit that Chris ate Quavo up. And they said, he really hates that man. This is diabolical and hurtful. Drake and Kendrick beef is funny, but we should probably get the Minister Farrakhan to sit Chris Brown and Quavo down, cause that one don't seem safe. And Quavo not gonna out-rap Chris Brown. Whatever he drops isn't topping Chris Brown's diss. He won't play against him in basketball. He won't fight him. Quavo really just gonna have to sit back, take this L, and act like he never heard it at this point. This is high-key humiliating for Quavo, but I want to know how y'all feel about this mess. Drop your thoughts in the comments, then check out this next video.